Hey guys, um, kind of hoping that a whole bunch of other noises don't make themselves known in this video. I'm trying to adjust my microphone. I've been trying to fix the audio today. I don't really know how to talk about this. Um, I was supposed to have a um, video go up Saturday. Um, I had done my tarot readings Tuesday and Wednesday, Thursday passed. No problems, no hitches or anything like that. Then Friday came. This is not this past Friday, but the Friday before. And so it's been what, 2 weeks now? No, a little over a week and a half, or right at a week and a half, since it happened. So this is what, Monday. And this happened not this past Friday, but the Friday before. Um, I was sitting here and I was I, th- I think that I had watched part 2 of the Borderlands series that I was going to put up, and the audio is going to be a little bit funky on that, because I didn't have it fixed until just now, and I'm hoping I have it fixed this time. Um, but I was watching it, and so I knew where to edit things, and that's when I realized I had the audio issue. And after I had watched it, it was about an hour long, I started watching a YouTube video. I got distracted, and I had been sitting on my foot. Um, God, this is like such a tangent to tangent to tangent thing. When I was 13, I fractured my tailbone at a skating rink. So for the past 20 years, I situate a lot in my chairs that I sit in, and I'll go from sitting on one leg to sitting on the other leg to shifting my weight from one side to the other. And you'll see that a lot of times in my videos. And sometimes I will, like just then, I was sitting on my ankle, and now I'm repositioning again. And it's just for my own comfort. My apologies. And so that's what I was doing Friday. I was sitting on my leg. I'd been sitting on it for an hour and a half. And normally that's not an issue, but there have been times where I've gotten up and my knee will kind of like cramp, and it'll send pain down to my ankle and up to my hip. And it'll happen with either one of my legs. It doesn't matter. Well, Friday, it just so happened that as I was getting up to go use the bathroom, which is like that way, um, that happened to my knee. And it sent me to the ground. It always does, because I literally cannot move my leg when that happens. It's such an intense pain. And I just laid down on the floor next to, like, in between here and the bathroom, and tried to wait for it to subside. I do apologize. Let me get some coffee. Um, but I just laid there and tried to wait for it to subside like I normally would. And one of two things happened. And I don't know which, because of what ended up happening, regardless of those two things. Either I got up, that pain let go, and I was able to get up, and I stood up too fast and I got dizzy, or I never ended up standing up to begin with, and just from the pain. Either way, I went through a seizure. Um, um, I haven't had one uh, in about 9 years, almost 10. Before that, it was almost 5 years. Prior to that, it was a year. Prior to that, it was 11 years. I had them from the time I was 3 until I was 7. I did not have one again until I was 18, almost 19. I had another one at 19. I had one at 24. And then I just had one a week and a half ago out of nowhere. Now, the one when I was 19 and the one when I was 24, it happened with both of my pregnancies. So I just was like, okay, I can't afford to get pregnant again for that reason. And both of my kids ended up, like, while I was carrying them, they were either causing my body to have issues or they were having issues. So for the sake of the next child or my own health, I just had my tubes tied, which turned into a whole ordeal that ended up with me having a hysterectomy. So I knew that pregnancy could cause me to have seizures, but I didn't think anything of it because for the past 9 years, I haven't had a kid. I haven't been pregnant. I haven't been at risk for it. Um, it was just a spur of the moment thing. And I was out for, like, I remember looking at my computer at the time and it was 2:36 or 2:37. Um, and when I came out of it, I was out for at least 10 minutes, possibly 15. Um, when I came out of it, the first thing I did was call my husband. He was at work, or he was rather working with his uncle. And I called him. I didn't get an answer. And so I called his uncle and I asked him, is he nearby? And he said, no, he's at this job site. I'm over at this job site. I said, okay. And he said, why, what's going on? And I told him, and he said, look, let me call somebody. Let me see if they can relay the message and send him home. Okay, cool. Great. Thanks. Appreciate that. And I just laid across my bed and my legs were jello. Um, the best way I can think to describe it is that I had control of my legs, but they didn't feel like they were mine. They felt foreign, and they were very wobbly, and they were not stable. Um, and so my bedroom is like, okay, so where I am, there's a open area, then there's a hallway, and in that hallway, in the center of that hallway, is the bathroom, and to the right side of that hallway is my bedroom. So it was not far. So I just got up off the floor. When I was trying to let my leg relax, I was laying on my stomach. When I came to out of this seizure, I was on my back. So again, I don't know if I pulled myself up on the wall and turned around and went down, or if I just never stood up to begin with. And the reason I say I don't know is because my brain tries to make sense of my seizures when they happen. So a lot of the time I get a warning. A lot of the time I get what's called an aura. And it's this really weird head feeling. And it's like, oh, I think I'm gonna, you have about enough time to say, I think I'm gonna, once you realize that's happening before you go out. Sometimes people can say, I think I'm going to pass out, or I think I'm going to faint, or I think I'm going to seize or something. Sometimes they can get all of that out, but I usually just get, I think I'm going to, and then I go. I did not get that. And so my brain, every time I've ever had one, the first one that I remember having, I thought that someone tripped me and that I fell. And that was not the case. I had just fallen straight back and seized, and I was 4. And again, I've had them from the time I was 3 to 7. That's the one I vividly remember. And so I know that my brain tries to make sense of what just happened. So it's giving me 2 scenarios. My brain is literally like splitting and saying, I don't know which one of these happened, but one of them surely did. One of those possibilities is that I got up, and it's you can feel it's almost a memory, but it's like an implanted memory. So it's a false memory. And like me thinking that someone tripped me, that was a false memory, because that did not take place. And so I don't know which of these incidences took place, whether I stood and I fell out then, or whether I was already on the ground and I stayed on the ground, but I thought that I had stood. I don't know. Anyway, my husband Gets the message to come home. He comes home. Realistically, I should have gone to the hospital. However, if anybody has ever been epileptic, anybody's ever had a seizure and you come out of it with like those first, maybe like the first hour, you're like so hazy that you can't make sense of shit. You're just like, what just happened? It's like you just came off of a roller coaster and your eyes were shut the whole time and you're trying to figure out how did I just get back here? Um, so he asked me, "Do you want to go to the hospital?" And I was like, I don't know. Words were hard. Um, Finding a thought was hard. Forming a complete sentence was hard. Um, and that scared me. Um, I remember I was on the bed and because that's where I had managed to get to, and I was just so out of energy and I was so weak. And all I could think was like I was getting up to use the bathroom to then go make me something to eat because I was hungry. And so when he came home, he was like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, I don't know. And he goes, "Do you want to go to the hospital?" I don't know. Well, what do you want? I don't know. And I was like, "Oh, wait, I was going to go make me something to eat." And he was like, "Are you hungry?" And I was like, "I think so." And he was like, "Do you want me to go get you something?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure, I don't care." So he ran down to the store that's like a mile down the road and got some hot dogs, brought them back. And I asked him for fries. I remember I asked him for fries. I didn't care about the hot dogs, I wanted the fries. And tater wedges. And so he brought those in, and he would not leave unless I was in the living room with my mom and where someone could watch me. And she had been using the bathroom when I went out and had just come back into into the living room to sit in her recliner by the time that I came to. So she had no idea. She was trying to figure out why in the hell he was racing home, and why he was home. And so I struggled and found the words and explained to her what had happened. And she felt horrible, because she didn't know anything about it. She didn't hear me fall. She didn't know anything, which just to me tells me that I didn't fall. Like logically in my head, if she didn't hear it, then it most likely didn't happen. Um, yeah, yeah, like mom's intuition, like they know things, right? And I'm sorry you to heard me hit this floor. Okay, I'm 150 pounds. I'm only 5 foot, but I'm 150 pounds. You'd have heard something hit the floor. So that tells me that I never stood. I'm assuming that I never stood and then fell. I'm assuming I stayed down. Ended up rolling over at some point. Anyhow, um, he has me sit in the living room with her, and I started out on the couch, and I just felt so weak, and I was like, no, in case I go into another one, I need to be on the floor. That way I'm not falling off the couch onto the floor and hurting myself. So let me just stay on the floor. Sat on the floor. He came home with the food, and or came back with the food, and I took like one bite of the potato wedge, and I was like, mm-mm, I don't feel good. So he put my food away, and I was starving. Like it's rough when you're that hungry and you can't eat. You literally feel like you're gonna be sick. And so I was still like head drunk, and I was like my head was like bobbing all over the place, and I couldn't keep it still, and I couldn't hold it up. I was that weak. And so he got me up off the floor, and he was like, "You need to go take a nap. Like go rest. You're obviously tired. You're weak. Just go rest." So I did. I slept for 4 hours, and I got up, and I asked him for food. Um, and he brought me my food, and he had to help me to the bedroom. My legs were still funky, but he brought me food in bed, so I didn't have to get up and question whether or not I'd be able to stand on my legs again. Um, it was like I forgot how to walk. Like my legs, I was in control of them, but they weren't necessarily doing what I wanted them to do. Um, but they felt like they were. Like it's a strange feeling. Um, but he got me into bed. I slept. I woke up. He brought me food in bed. I ate my hot dogs. I ate my wedges, what I could of them, and I got up. And I was like, okay, like I'm up. I need to move. I need to do something. Um, I need to not stay in bed. And maybe that was a mistake. Maybe I should have just stayed in bed. I don't know. But that evening, I got a headache. Should have gone to the hospital then. Needless to say, for the past week and a half, I have not been to a hospital. But that Monday, so this happened on a Friday. Saturday, I had no energy at all whatsoever. I even went back to bed Friday early, what I call early. So I got up. Let's see, that happened around. He got here at 10 to 3. So around 2:50. So that's what's telling me that I was out for at least 10 minutes, possibly 15. Was because of when how far it was that I went out, or the last time that I remember right before I went out, and then when I came to, what time it was. And it only took him, I mean, maybe 3 minutes to get here. So give or take like 12-ish minutes, 10 to 12 minutes, I was out. Um, and that's pretty average for me, to be honest. 10 to 15 is about average. It's unfortunate because it shouldn't be more than like 5, but it's about average for me. And I haven't had anything like terrible happen, like mental wise. Um, I was never, I was never diagnosed with like a learning disability per se, like maybe ADD, ADHD, but like I was never delayed or anything like that. So even in my childhood, like it didn't affect anything in that way. And anyway, so for like the past week and a half, on and off, I have had headaches. Um, let's see, Friday, I went to bed early. I got up Saturday with a headache. Um, Sunday, I got a headache that evening. Monday, I didn't have a headache. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, I had headaches in the evening. That Friday, I woke up with a headache. Saturday, I had a headache that evening. Um, Sunday, which would have been yesterday, I had a headache in the evening. I don't know about today. And on top of that, I'm pretty sure I've got an abscessed tooth that has been causing me some jaw and ear pain. So let's just, invite that to the party. So that's what I've been dealing with for the first 3 to 4 days. I knew Tuesday was not going to be the day for me to do my tarot readings this past Tuesday, um, because I was so low energy. I was so weak still. I was still reeling and freaking out from the fact that I didn't get a warning, the fact that it happened so quickly, the fact that for days I was weak. And that normally doesn't happen. Usually, give me a couple of hours and I'm right back to my normal self. Not this time. So what I did that Monday was I called, um, and I didn't have a primary care doctor. I just normally would go to the ER. Um, and so Monday I called and I found a primary care physician um, that would take me, and I have an appointment set for September. Um, I have documented my my last seizure, which was Friday before last. Not this past Friday, but the Friday before. Um, and how long it lasted, around what time it happened. Um, just in case I have another one. Um, but I'm also keeping an eye on these headaches. Because one, they're not fun. Uh, Two, I don't know if they're being caused by whatever happened with the seizure. I don't know if I don't have a goose egg. So, and I'm cognitive for the most part. I'm still having some slight issues with gathering my thoughts. My brain likes to scatter when I'm speaking. It's still hard to form some sentences, or to get my thoughts at least in order to where I can actually get things out. Especially when there's anxiety attached to it, and when I get on camera, there's automatically anxiety. Um, but yeah, so I've been dealing with that. Sometimes I get like half a thought and I just run with it, and I'm like, where was I going with that? Um, so that happens from time to time. Other times I will say the wrong word like over and over and over, trying to say the correct word. Like yesterday, I kept trying to say something about putting the clothes in the dresser, or in the drawer, and I kept saying cabinet and cupboard and cabinet, cabinet, cupboard, cabinet, cupboard. And I was like, dresser. um, I just got so pissed at myself when that happened last night. I was so frustrated. Because I knew what I was trying to say, but it wasn't coming out. The same thing happened. I think it was yesterday or today. I think it was yesterday. My mom was like, "You said two," and I was like, "Well, I meant one." Um, or I said fork and I meant knife. That's been happening. It's frustrating. Um, and I don't know how to explain it. I don't, blah, that's been happening too. I don't have memory lapses, but I forget something very quickly. Um, I can remember some things relatively later. Like, I remember that I made this video tomorrow. I remember everything that I said in this video tomorrow. But if you were to ask me what I started this with, other than hey guys, I don't even know if I said hey guys. So if I didn't, hi guys. 22 minutes into this, and if I haven't said hi, then I'm terribly sorry. Um, yeah, this has been a whole ordeal. So, like I said, the first 3 days after this happened, I was exhausted. I was weak. I was freaking out. I was anxious. I was stressed. I was all over the place. I didn't know how to make a video. Like, it wasn't that I forgot. It was just like, what do I do? I don't want to go right back into this. I wasn't ready to make another tarot card reading, and I was going to do this as a live stream, but I really just did not want to get sidetracked too badly. Because this is something that's really important for me to talk about. But yeah, it's been a doozy. I'm projecting possibly a tarot card readings tomorrow, but I'm not entirely sure. My sleep schedule since all of this, because I have been weak, because I have been tired. I have been trying to listen to my body um, after all of this, and just do what it's telling me to do. And a lot of the times it's rest. And if I don't rest when I'm supposed to rest, I know I'm putting my body at a higher risk of having another one. So it's messed with my sleep schedule. Um, Again, I'm projecting. I'm hoping to do the tarot readings tomorrow, but I don't want to put an advertisement up and then not be able to make, or a promotion video and then not be able to make it tomorrow. So, what I am going to say though is to be on the lookout for Saturday. I have all week to edit part 2 of the Borderlands series, and so that's what I'm going to be doing. I've been playing Pokemon to try to get my mind off of everything and give myself something to focus on. And the Pokemon that I've been playing, which is Coliseum, is a grinding game. You got to level grind. So that's been doing a really good job of keeping my mind busy and keeping me on a task. It's been a doozy. And this week, I've really got to take care of myself because my husband's not here. He is down at the coast working with his uncle, which is like an hour and a half, 2 hours away. I really can't afford to be calling on him, waiting for him to get here, and something happens. So I've got to take care of myself this week. Um, Above everything else, I just want to say thank you for your patience and your understanding, and for all of you guys that subscribed. And um, I haven't posted a video. I do apologize. You guys didn't know that this was going on, and I haven't really wanted to post about it myself, to be completely honest. It's not something that I thought I would share or that I thought I would have to. Again, it had been years, and that's why it's never been mentioned on my channel. But yeah, that happened, and it's delayed some things, and I do apologize for that. It's hard to sit here and say, oh yeah, I made this plan. This plan was great. It was going amazingly. And then something throws a monkey wrench in it, and you're like, but I was trying so hard. Anyway, this is tough. And if I don't laugh, I'm going to cry. I'm just kind of, I've got to just like take the lumps and be like, it is what it is. We're here now. But I want to thank you guys for your time and your patience and your understanding, and for subscribing and everything that you guys have done, and your comments and everything. And hopefully soon we'll be back to our normally scheduled, you know, programming and such. But be on the lookout for Saturday. Again, I don't want to make any promises for this Tuesday, but be on the lookout for Saturday. And yeah, I look forward to where this could possibly go. Again, it's a doozy. We're going to get through it. It's not the end of the world. And I will definitely let you guys know if I end up having to take an ER visit, or if what the doctors say on the in September at my appointment. So I wish all of you guys luck. Stay safe, stay hydrated. It's hot as hell out there. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you guys so much for being here. Take care.